Devinah Cosmetics released 15 new shades for Black Friday. I purchased the 10 that I found most intriguing. Let's eye swatch them. I posted my eye swatch video not too long ago from their Twilight Whispers collection that came out in October. We're already starting with my cat meowing. And I was saying in that video that that collection was a little bit more for like the grungy color lovers, which I do dabble in. But I feel like where my heart lies is in like really pretty midtones, and most of these new Black Friday shadows were like really pretty midtones. Also, I'm pretty sure all but one of the new shadows were at their $8 price point. All the ones that I bought were at their $8 price point, and for Black Friday they were marked down, I think somewhere around $5. So I'm really excited. If these are anything like Devinah's normal standards, these are going to be some beautiful, inexpensive shadows. I also want to mention at the start of this video, I have received some PR from Devinah before. These shadows I purchased all on my own, and all my opinions are my own. I also have a discount code with them. It's just Hannah. It's not affiliated, so I don't receive any commission, any money if you make a purchase using it, but it does show the brand that my reviews are helpful to you in making your purchases. I'm in the process right now of moving rooms, which is something that I've mentioned before. So this room that I'm in is pretty much empty, so if this is a little echoey, I apologize. It won't be like this for very long. And also my cat is very confused about like where all the stuff went, so if she's particularly rowdy during this video, that's why. But I wanted to make sure I could like film this and get this up, so we're doing it anyway. We're doing it live. Let's zoom in and get some shadows on my eyes. That kind of rhymed. I was wearing makeup before and I just wiped it off, so if like under my eyes look a little red, it's because I was wearing eyeshadow under there today that was a little bit red, so don't fear. I paired these up with ones that I think they like look most similar to. I wanted to buy 9 because I feel like it's nice if I buy an odd number because I can just like finish having the last one on both eyes, but I could not do it. I really wanted all of these 10, and for different reasons. Like some of them look more sparkly, some of them look less sparkly, and I'm curious if they'll be kind of like glowy shadows. The first one we're gonna start with does look sparkly. This is called Silent Blizzard. I can't remember if there was like any flips in this or if it's just like a light sparkly shadow, but when they were like rolling out these shades on Instagram, they were posting every day like swatch pictures like on the side of the hand, so it's like a little bit textured and you could see it like pick up the light in different ways. And I remember this one looking really special. Okay, feels nice. I feel it pick up on my finger, but it's not like too, you know, flaky or anything. It's like a really nice consistency, and I don't have any primer on my eyes. Oh, that looks really pretty. Wow. It looks really golden, which I wasn't expecting. Like I would expect a shade that looks like this on my eyes to look way more gold in the pan, and this is very like white, maybe a little bit of gold. Maybe I wasn't seeing what was there until I saw it in my eye. But this is really pretty, and I could see it being like a pretty accent to add sparkles to another shade. This one just looks like a straight up light gold sparkle, a lot of sparkle, really pretty. And I'm particularly curious to see it right next to the next shade. This is Polar Eclipse. It looks like a yellow to pink shift. And in the swatch pictures on Devinah's Instagram, it didn't look that sparkly. So I'm like curious to see how it looks. I'm so sorry about the cat meows. But like that yellow is so bold, and I feel like we don't see that many yellow shades. Cool. Yeah, it's definitely not the same level of sparkle, you can see, but this is definitely a way more shifty shade. And I always end up using shades that are kind of like subtle, but also shifty. Like the subtleness, the fact that it's not super sparkly or like deep or bold makes it easier to wear for more occasions. But like the shiftiness of it makes it so special. And this looks like it barely has a base. Like it has that yellowness in the base, but it's like very subtle. And it's like a bright pink shimmer to like that yellow. Yeah, I've never seen anything like this. I always find that so interesting with like my preferences in shadows too, that like I would think on paper, I would go for the more sparkly shade, but I feel like I'm going to wear this one way more because it's so much more unique. Okay, the next one, Ice Phantom, I think is the one that I was most excited for based on the swatches. In the swatches on the Devinah Instagram, you could really clearly see some multicolored sparkle, which I'm pretty sure we haven't seen yet from Devinah. And the tone of it just looks like so pretty also. So I'm very curious to dig into this one. Yeah, they all have a really similar feel to them. This one, if anything, is like a little bit thinner. Sorry, my cat's now at the base of the of the tripod. Oh. I'm just gonna layer this one up a little bit just because it feels so thin. Okay, yeah, and I feel like that's the impact that I'm wanting. One layer just felt like a little bit too subtle, but two has like a really pretty shine to it. Yeah, the shade looks very neutral. Oh yeah, but up close, I do see those multicolored sparkle. I'm seeing like a clear pink and green to it on like a peachy base. I do like to point out with these shades that like from farther away, you're not going to see there's multicolored sparkle. It's kind of like a fun little treat up close. But from farther away, it does have like a pretty wet look shine, and it looks like a peachy base, and I feel like the shimmer altogether looks like a subtle green. And I always like that contrast too when like the base and the shimmer are very different colors. So yeah, I feel like I had to talk through the shade a little bit more, but I really like it. Okay, the next one is Starlit Snow, which looks really pretty and sparkly. In the pan, it looks so similar to, was it Frothy Surf? We'll have to talk about that later on. There's like a couple shades that I'm very curious to see how they compare to these shades. And this to me in the pan looks just like that other shade. The good news is I love that other shade. That other shade's like one of my top favorite oranges. And I do like trust that Devinah's not going to be like releasing a complete duplicate. So I'm curious to see in which ways they do differ. But because I know I like that shade so much, if this is similar to it, but like a little bit different, I feel like I'm going to also love this. So let's dig in and see. Huh. You know, we will compare it. The only difference I'm seeing is I feel like this like coral shift in it is stronger in this shade than it is in Frothy Surf. But like the overall effect, I feel like I'm wearing Frothy Surf right now. So this is definitely like a to be continued because I need to know how they differ. I do like this one and it's really pretty, but I'm just curious if like I literally already have this. Okay, I feel like the four we already ice swatched were more on like the warm toned end, but I did pick up some cool tones also. So we're gonna take a little foray into the world of cool tones. This one is called Arctic Sage. Arctic Sage, that's a cool name. I like that. I'm really intrigued by this kind of like glowy mint. And I like that it looks like it has a shift that's pretty close to its own color. Like I always like shades like this. So here it looks like Robin's Egg Blue, and then the shift looks like a true mint. So I'm really intrigued by this. Up close too, like I feel like it looks like it has some like pink shimmer or something in it. Ooh. I feel like this one like spread a little bit easier than the other ones. The past couple felt like a little bit more hard pressed, and you could see this one I got some fallout from. So this is one I have to kind of remember to be a little bit more careful with it. But I do, ooh, I like that green shift in it. Yeah, I think this is really pretty. And I am seeing like some pinkiness to it. Like right where the light's hitting it, I'm seeing like a little bit of warmth. So I feel like this shade is more multi-chromatic than I was expecting. Oh, I really like this. There's like a Luxie shade that it kind of reminds me of. It gives me a little bit of like Myrrh from Cleona vibes. Like it feels so understated, but I also just think it's really pretty and I really like it. This might be my favorite one so far. Like I don't even know how to put into words what I like so much about it. Maybe I do. Maybe it's just like the green and the blue at the same time. I really like that. Cool. And I can imagine it being very versatile based on like what I pair it with. Like I feel like the base is so light that I could layer it. I'm really excited. This next one I was also particularly excited about because the color of it feels so unique. This is called Cosmic Ice, and this was also the first one that they revealed. This one also didn't look like the most shimmery shade in the world, but it looked like a really interesting glow. I feel like I'm getting like a vibe from this collection where it's like interesting shades, but done like a little bit understated, like a little bit refined. Let's see. All right, this is also one that like did its own thing a little bit. There's always like some shades that I can pick up on my finger and I feel like they only go exactly like at the spot where you put your finger down. And then there's shades like this that kind of like, boop, like they kind of like fill in the blanks for you. So I would probably go in with a more careful hand next time too. So you could see this is not as shimmery as this. This is not that shimmery of a shade, but as I was expecting, it does have like a little glow to it, and it has a little bit of like a warm shift as well. Yeah, I'm not obsessed with it, but I could see it being cool for like an accent shade. Like I could see using it for like that inner corner area that I sometimes like to like put a little extra shimmer in. Yeah, I'm curious to see how it looks in more complicated looks, but I feel like I'm not going to wear it on its own like I know I will with like this shade, you know? The next shade is Mystic Frost, and this one looks like a lavender to blue duochrome, perhaps? This one reminds me of a Luxie shade. I think it's Ube, which I always really liked the color of, but I didn't like the formula of, and that shadow did not last on me at all. So hopefully this will be like the nicer version of that, and then I could actually like wear that shade. This one has a similar, almost chalky feel to the last one, but I think already it looks more shimmery than that green one did. Oh yeah, oh that's a nice shimmer. It's funny how on the eye, it doesn't look as like blue. I'm just gonna put a little bit more on. The shimmer in it doesn't look as blue as I thought it would. It looks more of like a mint green, but I'm also down for that. I feel like the purple in it is so subtle though. It's just like a light purple in the base, and most of what you see is like a mint shimmer. But I could imagine if I layered this over a lavender, if that would kind of like intensify the base. Or maybe I'll find myself just like enjoying wearing this as like a mint shimmer. I don't know. This next one, Night Spell, it just looks to me like it's going to be more of an intense formula because it's more of like an intense shade than the other ones have been. So I'm curious because I feel like the other ones have really had something in common here. So let us see. Yeah, I can tell this is going to be more of a shimmery shadow. It's also more of like a it stays where you put it shadow, which I probably would say I prefer. I prefer a shade I can control. Oh yeah, I like this. Ooh, I like this a lot. It's like a really pretty mid-tone sky blue, and it has a lot of pink shimmer in it, and then it also has a flip, but I feel like the base flips to like a richer blue, and then the shimmer flips to this like orangey yellow. Oh, that's a really interesting shade. And I feel like I've tried a lot of shades recently that are this like rich blue with a pink shimmer to it, but this one's special. I feel like this is a really nice shadow. And I always think too about like the intensity you'll see of it on my face. This is a shadow you might not instantly notice I'm wearing, but like this is a more intense shade that like stands off of my face. I really like that. I'm really excited about this one. What was it? Night Spell. We are on to the final two shades, and I will say, I already had a makeup look on before this, which I took off to start the video, as I said, and we've swatched 8 shadows so far. My eyelids don't hurt at all, and I think that says something about like the type of shimmer that they use, that like some brands, it looks shimmery because it's like hard shimmer particles. These shades were all so smooth that even from like removing all of them, my eyelids feel totally fine. So that's awesome. I'm sure if I kept going, like they would eventually hurt. Like, you know, my eyelids are just simple eyelids after all, but I like that. The penultimate shade is called Ice Kissed. And this one, in the swatch pictures, looked more of like a standard pink shimmer, but it does look a little bit special. Like I feel like this particular shade of like peachy bubblegum pink, I really like it with like this super cool sparkle to it. And it looks like it has like a lot of little shimmers in there. Ooh, I'm excited. Okay, pretty. This is one also that felt a little thin going on, so I'm gonna layer it up a little bit. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I think this looks on the eye just like it looks in the pan. It's like a really pretty pinkish base, a lot of really cool shimmer, but I'm also seeing a little bit of a shift to like a richer pink, and that I was not expecting at all from the pan, and that's really pretty. Oh, and then out of the light, I feel like the base color looks more of like a peachy orange. I like this. I feel like this is like a light pink. It's a light pink. At the end of the day, it's a light pink, but it is like a more interesting light pink than a lot of light pinks that I've encountered. And then the final shade is called Frozen Secrets. And I'm getting the feeling that this one's going to be a little bit more intense also, like how that bluish one was. This looks like a reddish pink to like a coppery shift. Sorry, cat shenanigans. And even that copper looks like a little bit gold in there too. I'm excited. Okay. Sparkly and like a really pretty shade of pink. Like it looks more like a baby doll pink on my finger, and I like that. Ooh, I love that shade of pink. Okay. I don't think this feels like an intense shadow like that blue one did. Yeah, I like that this one looks really shifty, and that like copper is so bright. I really like that about it, and I really love the shade of pink, as I said. Yeah, I feel like it doesn't have the like base intensity that I was expecting from it, but because it's so shifty and that copper like really catches the light, I feel like it does have quite a bit of presence on my face, even like from a little bit farther back. Really pretty. Okay, these aren't the shadows I would necessarily like wear one on each eye for a look, but I am filming this video today and I hope to edit it tonight and post it tomorrow. So this is going to be the shades I'm wearing on my eyes. I'm just gonna throw in like a transition shade and an inner corner and face makeup and all that, and we will come back for like some comparisons and stuff. So I'll be right back. Okay, this is the finished look, which as I was saying is more of like, I just finished my look as opposed to like, I did a look. But let me tell you what I used anyway. For my crease color, I just went in there with Snickerdoodle from Dandelions Cosmetics. It's very powdery, it's not my favorite, but like, I like speed runned this makeup and I pulled out this palette first, and that was like the closest thing to a transition in there. And then for the rest, I used the Glaminatrix Rich Romantic palette. I haven't pulled this out in a while, but like when I first got it, I was really enjoying it, so I want to use it more. I used Admire for my lower lash line, and I used Romantic for my inner corner. And I kind of think despite these being like very different lid shades, it looks like relatively cohesive. Like I think I could get away with like going into public with this and not having anyone realize I'm like wearing two different lid shades. I'm really curious to see how these stack up against some other shades that I have, so let's just get right into the comparisons. I also ordered this Lucite Pro palette from Devinah when I placed my Black Friday order. It has like the little Devinah logo here. And so far, so good. I'm kind of like trying to decide what to do with like my makeup palettes because I have some that shadows are stored upside down in and I don't like that as much. So kind of side note, but I feel like this new palette is looking a little sleek. So I pulled out shades to compare. Some of them it's just one shadow, some of them it's a couple shadows. So let's dive in. Frozen Secrets from the new collection. Tucana. They do look pretty similar in the pan. I would say Tucana is a lighter pink and Frozen Secrets has that like copper to it. It's definitely a more obvious flip. Next we have Ice Kissed, and while I don't think I have anything just like it, I thought I'd compare it to Sweet Slush, mostly because the color looks pretty similar. Ice Kissed, Sweet Slush. Sweet Slush is like a very straight to the point light pink. So you can see Ice Kissed has a bit more going on to it. The pink in the base is more intense and it has that cool sparkle to it. Okay, for the comparison we've all been waiting for, if we all is me, we have Starlit Snow from the new collection and Frothy Surf. So swatching these, I thought that they would look exactly the same. You could see in the pan that Frothy Surf looks a little bit richer, a little bit deeper in color. Starlit Snow, so pretty. And Frothy Surf. Okay, so swatched out, they are very similar, but I can see in the swatches the small differences is that Frothy Surf is a little bit darker in color, and I feel like the sparkle on that one is looking a little bit more golden. Oh, I'm not sure though, because I look at this one though and I'm like, I also see golden, but that's more of like a golden green. But I also know that Frothy Surf is green. Is this helpful? I don't know. Overall, these are very similar shades, and I feel like if you have Frothy Surf already, and especially if you don't wear it very often, you don't need Starlit Snow. But if you like this type of shade, I think they both look beautiful, and I think either one you'd be satisfied with, like if you're deciding which one to purchase for the first time. Next we have Arctic Sage, and I want to compare that to Devinah Water Mist and Cleona Myrrh. We have Arctic Sage, Water Mist, and Myrrh. So these are different. Arctic Sage definitely has the most like presence, it has the most texture. Both Water Mist and Myrrh are very thin shadows, which I think is why they work well for my inner corner, especially Water Mist. I love this as like a glowy inner corner shade. Also, Arctic Sage comes up a bit more blue compared to Water Mist, but I'm still really excited to pair the two of them together. Next up we have Mystic Frost, and I want to compare that to Frostbane, which was originally in the Fantasia palette, but now you're able to purchase it separately. And Luxie Ube, which isn't available anymore because Luxie doesn't exist anymore, but I bet a lot of people already have it. Mystic Frost, Frostbane, and Ube. I think it definitely is the most similar to Ube. They both have this like light blue-green shift to it. I'd say the base of Mystic Frost is a bit more cool purple, but overall I bet it'll give a similar effect on the eyes, which makes me feel excited because I don't really wear Ube all over my lid because it creases so bad on me. Frostbane is really pretty, but it is a very different purple. Next up we have Silent Blizzard, and I want to compare that to Pancake Bubbles. I don't think they're going to be exactly the same, but Pancake Bubbles is kind of like my go-to, not a specific color inner corner shade. So I don't know, they're both light neutrals. Silent Blizzard, Pancake Bubbles. You can see Pancake Bubbles is much more champagne, and Silent Blizzard is much more golden. I forgot how pretty Pancake Bubbles is. I feel like I want to wear this all over my lid soon, especially for the holidays. I feel like that'd be really pretty. Next up is Cosmic Ice, and while the formula is very different, I thought we could compare it for color's sake to Offshore Mist, Orion, and Echidna. Cosmic Ice, Offshore Mist, Orion, Echidna. Ooh, I love Echidna. So I think you can really see that the formula of Cosmic Ice is very like satiny almost. And all three of these are beautiful sparkle shades. These are more like single color shades. And then Echidna is a gorgeous multi-chrome. And then finally we have Devinah Night Spell, which I'm going to compare to Devinah Midnight Nova, Touch of Glam Blue Chocolate, and Terra Moon Stellar Apotheosis. And we have Night Spell, Midnight Nova, Blue Chocolate, and Stellar Apotheosis. So I think you can see they're all pretty similar. It's probably the most similar to Blue Chocolate, but they all have that like blue base, pinkish sparkle thing going on. I think in Night Spell, the pink sparkle might be the least overpowering. Like you really see the blue to it, and then the pink sparkle is like a little bit secondary, whereas with like Midnight Nova, you can't help but see the pink sparkle at first glance. But they're all really pretty shades. This is the type of shade that like I'm always happy to have a bunch of just because I love them. I love these kind of blues. I would say overall I'm most excited for Polar Eclipse. This is like that yellowy one with like the orangey shimmer to it. Arctic Sage, which was like the shimmery mint to teal with like a pink shift to it. And Night Spell, which was like a really intense sky blue with a lot of pink shimmer and shifts to it. But I think overall it is like a really beautiful collection, and I'm excited to try them all out and see how like my relationship with them changes and progresses. And that's gonna be everything for today. If you enjoyed this, I hope you'll give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It really means a lot to me, and I will see you very soon. Bye!